Hey, America's on fire. My name is Damianos, by the way. Anyway, yeah, America is on fire. At least the half of it where I corporealize and where Nix lives. It's burning here. A lot. There are records happening across the West Coast. 4.6 million acres have been burned in the West so far, and the fires are not running out of kindling. I mean, it's awfully convenient for me. If hell spreads to Earth, I wouldn't have to commute. Let's see, as of recording this, the air quality is very unhealthy here. It's hazardous by double in parts of Oregon and California. The atmosphere resembles a Mad Max Blade Runner apocalypse across the coast. You'd think it's fog, it's just toxic air which carries particles small enough to penetrate your lungs and suppress your immune system during a pandemic. But everyone online keeps focusing on the gender reveal party that started one of the mega fires, one of the multiple. Yes, beyond the assignment of gender being antiquated and the absolutely absurd, explosive method of revealing menial information, beyond the straight just not being okay. That is not the issue here. The issue is that climate change is barreling out of control. The warming part of global warming that conservatives liked to poke holes in because it snowed once is really kicking in, and our president will tell scientists to their face that the science doesn't know. And a candidate who acknowledges the climate change, but also helped industry cause it and actually is not planning on doing anything about it. The thing is, it's been burning here for years now. Forest fires that blanket the area in a fog of smoke that blocks out the sun is actually not a foreign concept to the people here. The past several years, this has been almost annual. Not before then, before they had summers without the annual smoke sky. This is the new West Coast normal. Just like increased hurricanes in the Southwest, and it's worse than ever in both areas. And it's going to get worse than this. I don't want you to think 2020 is the hell year, it's the first hell year. America has started burning, and the planet has started burning. You remember how the Amazon and the whole continent of Australia went through this? They will again and again, and so will many places around the planet. Areas once wet and moist, filled with dense foliage, are drying out rapidly as their climates change rapidly. These areas are used to being wet, and when they're not, when they dry out, there are miles and miles of dry, flammable wood. There are over 100 fires so far. They were not all caused by human explosives. The causes of individual fires may be natural, but the rate of global climate change is not natural. Now California is having inmates fight their fires because they do not have the manpower to fight these fires. They don't have it because they and the federal government are not willing to pay enough people to put their asses on the line. So instead they send prisoners out there to be slaves for us, and fight the fires for everybody, for a few bucks of prison food. America has yet to abolish slavery, and we're paying attention because they're outside of the prison cells and in the world, working for us without proper compensation. Prison labor is slave labor, and prisoners are slaves. Are they enduring punishment to atone for their crimes and pay back to society? Well, the ones out fighting the fires and most of the other laborers are victims of the drug war. Our domestic war on American citizens over the health issue of drugs. They're being thrown at the fires, and the governments are not willing to pay for the consequences of their own actions. It's more convenient for the fires to burn away people's homes unimpeded. The firefighters and firefighter slaves, who don't get to apply to be firefighters upon release, are doing heroic and wonderful work, but they are not being supplied to beat this. It is not possible for them. 40,000 Oregonians so far have been evacuated from their homes. 500,000 Oregonians are being told to prepare to flee. These numbers will rise. America will continue to burn this summer, and next summer we've got some records to beat. America and the world is burning. In other news, fascism is on the rise even more than ever before. So for years now, the US has been In the kindest expression, keeping illegal immigrants in internment camps. Packed in like sardines, on concrete, fenced in, abused, and often separated from children and family. Incredibly inhumane conditions in these camps, which are no better than the Japanese internment camps we collectively look back at in disgust. Not to mention that during this time of pandemic, there are no protections for these people. Regulations have not been followed. Cramped areas are causing huge spread among the populations, and reports of COVID are being suppressed. ICE, an agency formed during the Bush administration, which has allowed no oversight, no consequence for abuse, and whose sole purpose is to fill out these camps, are getting more and more comfortable with their freedoms. It has come out from a whistleblower nurse that these camps are going from inhumane to horrific. Not only have courts said in a lawsuit case that there is reason to believe that slavery is going on in these camps, turns out they seem to be doing forced hysterectomies on the women in the camps. For whatever reason, a group of women have been given surgery for no reason. Sterilizing them. Forced sterilizing surgery on people who couldn't understand what was happening to them due to the language barrier, and never had it explained. The reason is being investigated, but it's either government-endorsed eugenics or a doctor who's trying to fraud the government by getting paid for superfluous surgeries. Either way, there are horrific levels of medical malpractice at the very least, and straight-up eugenics at the worst, going on at the border. So, can we start talking about abolishing ICE now? Understand this agency is relatively new, and border control didn't start with them. At this point, they have camps overflowing with people with one race in common, and within these camps are horrible and dangerous conditions, abuse, and now the potentiality of being sterilized. They are concentration camps. The abuses in these facilities are a giant endless list. The summary of it all, they are concentration camps. It's becoming worse. This is fascism in ascent. Trump is a fascist. However, do remember that Obama-Biden built these cells and continued to advance the border war. Biden is culpable in this as well. What the fuck is going on here? This place is so fucked up. Abolish the fuck out of ICE already. Tear these camps the fuck down. Fucking climate change is real and humanity is gonna fucking perish. I want at least a lot of you to not perish, so shit literally needs to change. I don't have much of a platform to influence it yet, but your early support is really important to us. This has been Left the Abyss. I appreciate likes and shares. Next will reply to your comments. And as always, thank you for watching Left the Abyss, mortals. Subscribe. Fucking shit, guys. What the fuck?